Welcome to part 2 of our Hot Pad project, learning how to fold our faux binding. Okay, so here we have our 10-inch Hot Pad project, and as I mentioned, there's a 1.5-inch border around the 10-inch cotton square and batting. The cotton square and batting is safety pinned to the top of the wrong side of the backing fabric. The backing fabric becomes part of the border or the binding for this hot pad by folding. So now I'm going to show you those folding techniques. So any one of these sides you can start with. I am going to take the side of the backing fabric and feel my 10-inch square that is safety pinned about 1.5 inches in from the side, and I am going to fold my backing fabric in half toward that 10-inch square so that the rough edge of the backing fabric is directly lined up and flush with that 10-inch square and batting. And that creates about a 3/4 inch strip, folded strip, right outside that 10-inch square and batting. And you're going to finger press it down so that it has a nice crease. Then we're going to take that 3/4 inch folded piece of fabric that we just created, and we're going to flip it over toward and over the edge of the 10-inch cotton square and batting so that it's going to be covering the outer edge of that square, and we're going to again finger press it down nice and flat. Then you're going to take your plastic clips that were included, clip one in the center of the square to hold that strip to it, and then about 3/4 from the right and left side, you're going to clip it there too, just holding that strip that we just folded nice and tight to the cotton square and batting. And we've completed one side. Now you're going to turn your project, and we're going to do the other side. Same thing. We're going to fold the outer fabric in toward that 10-inch square so that the edge, the rough edge of your outer fabric is flush against that 10-inch square, touching it. Press it down with your fingers and then flip it, that border one more time so that it is over the edge of the 10-inch square and batting, and finger press it down and clip once again using 3 plastic clips. I start in the center and about 3/4 of the way from the right and left sides, add 2 other plastic clips. And there you have it. You have 2 sides done. Now you're going to work with your next side. Now this time you'll have the 2 folded edges on this side that we just completed. You're going to flip that outer edge again, same thing, toward that 10-inch square and batting so that the rough edges line up, and finger press it nice and tight with toward that edge. And now this is the part that's a little different. Now that we've done this, we want to create a nice diagonal seam for the corners. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to start with my left hand corner. So you feel the left hand corner of your fabric, and you're going to pull it down toward the 10-inch square so that it lines up with the edge of the 10-inch square and your strip that you just folded on top of it. And it's going to form this small little triangle in that corner. Then you're going to do the same thing with the other side. Take the outer corner from that folded fabric, fold it down toward the 10-inch square so that it's lined up with the edge. Now you have 2 small triangles on each corner. Now the next part, the tricky part is holding down these triangles with your fingers. Don't let them go. And then pick them up. I use either my middle finger or index finger and thumb. Pick them up and then fold that piece of, that strip of fabric with those triangles on either end. Fold it up and over the edge of your 10-inch square embatting. And what this does is it creates these nice little diagonal corners, and that will make a nice seam. That creates your faux binding. Press it down, finger press it down without letting go of those diagonal corners. And then I like to just kind of spread my hand out so I have one pinky on one diagonal corner and then my thumb in the middle. I let go of the other diagonal corner and take a plastic clip and clip it in the middle. And then, now that diagonal corner that you let go of, the triangle might have flipped up. Just tuck it right back under again. And then we'll put another plastic clip there. And I like to just kind of put it right about an inch from the side so it's holding that diagonal fold real nicely. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, putting my plastic clip about an inch from the edge. Let me just see if I'm saying that right. No, it's more like a half inch from the edge to hold that diagonal fold down. Now flip your project, and now we're going to repeat that process. So you're going to fold the rough edge of your border fabric in toward that 10-inch square, finger press it, and bring the outer point of the left side down towards the triangle so the sides are lined up, and you make that little triangle. Same thing on the right side. And hold those two and flip it over again. And again, you'll create those little diagonals, finger press. Now, if you wanted to, I suppose what I probably could have done is taken something like a cup and put it on top of one of the diagonals while I work, the diagonal folds while I work with the other one. So that's a tip. Take your plastic clip, put it in the center. Take another plastic clip and about a half-inch in, clip it over the diagonal. And now I can take my coffee cup off of the other diagonal fold and put a plastic clip there. So basically anything that's heavy enough to weigh it down. And there we have our faux binding taking shape. We have two options for completing the stitching of your binding to your hot pad. You may either choose the instructions for hand sewing, which is part 3, or you can move on to part 4, which will demonstrate machine sewing techniques.